on the season are the Rochester Rhinos. Forbes gets us underway as they'll play it all the way back to Brandon Miller. Crowd still filing in here. Huge youth soccer game, 62 teams here. Kicked off starting at 9 a.m. this morning. And those groups still making their way into the stadium. Thrown on the far side for the battery. A jetty. Long throw over the head of McMahon. Van de Castile there to win the header. Looking for Kelly, who takes a thigh, or a shot right to the thigh. Van de Castile looks over and says sorry. Kelly's going to shake it off. Apostolopoulos. Obasi. Mendoza. Cleared away by the battery. Santos. Made it back to Vasily Apostolopoulos. Tosh right down the middle for Forbes. Takes a little touch, but scooped away there by Mueller. Back to Cooper. McMahon puts it back into the Charleston half. Woodbine's header is in the middle of the field. Picked up by Tosh. Mendoza. Obasi. Looks. Forbes, little pocket there, couldn't turn. Trying to spin and find some opening. Does for Tosh. Back to Obasi. Go outside. One-time cross, a high one at the 6, and Cooper snags it out of the air. The USL Team of the Week member, Odisnell Cooper. 7-0-4 on the season.
Oh, no.
As the referee takes a tumble on the turf. Apostolopoulos, fourth official, gives a little thumbs up to the man in the middle, make sure he's okay.
Stretching that.
Dixon trying to get through there, but runs out of space. It'll be goal kick coming up here for Cooper. Charleston did not have Chang, Cooper, Boyd, or Cordoves up in Toronto on Friday. 16 players dressed for that one. Lasso also left the game with an injury, so he is not in the lineup today for Mike Anhauser's side.
And Rochester starting off with a few nice touches. I think just shaking off those early game jitters. That finals pass just isn't there yet.
Rochester coming off a scoreless draw against Charlotte last week right here at Salem Stadium. As Garbanzo plays it to Kelly. Gets it back on the outside. Forward roll and gets back up, but Miller has the ball. The jetty gets the header on it. The referee has been all over the place here.
Definitely playing a part today, isn't he?
Hopefully not like the Gold Cup referees.
Yeah.
That part we don't need. A little flick to Forbes. Steveno's coming in, and Mueller heads it back to Ferguson. The jetty to Ferguson. The 24-year-old out of the College of Charleston. Finds Mueller on the near side. Long ball forward looking for Garbanzo. Flag comes up for offsides. Referee takes a look and finally sees it, and quick restart by Walls. Taken away by Portillo. The chest, Tosh. Gets it to Obasi. Good move, gets around one. Crosses midfield. Smooth up and down in the pass for Steven, not on the mark.
There's those jitters once again, you know. A few nice clean touches, but that last pass, that last play is still missing.
Kelly, a little flick on, looking for Garbanzo, doesn't get there. Walls on to Obasi. We're in the 5th minute and scoreless. Rhinos in the battery, the marquee matchup in the USL. Headed back to Cooper. These two teams played July 3rd in Charleston. no score. Has there been any different approach to this game than the Rhinos had for the one down in Charleston?
I think for both teams, I think the situation has definitely changed. Battery, like I said, had dropped those points earlier this week, so they've really got to go for it. They're away from home. Typically, you'd want to come in here, not go for a draw, but maybe off a 2-game trip, hold back a little bit, but they're definitely going for it. Rhinos, I know, are definitely pushing for it. They're at home. They've got to make a push. They've got to make a statement, and that's what I think this is. It's definitely a statement game.
There's Mendoza on the ball in a big game for the Rhinos and the Battery. Forbes back to Apostolopoulos. Mendoza taken off the ball. Chang slowed down here by Van de Castile. Bassi turns, gets away from Boyd. Gives it to Forbes. Now Steven Dos Santos. Mendoza on the near side, taking some time, looking up, finding the captain Walls. Tosh changes the run of play to the far side for McMahon with some space and time. Marked there by Chang, slows it down, back to Tosh. Possession here from the Rhinos, inching their way forward towards the Charleston 18. Quick touch from Mendoza. Almost got it back from Walls, but taken away by Garbanzo. And a long whistle there from Charles Murphy.
Yeah.
Letting Tony Walls know he's not happy with the foul against Garbanzo.
That's definitely something you want to be careful. It's more of a frustration tackle off the giveaway. Rochester can't afford much more of that.
Garbanzo, the 22-year-old, taken down. Here's a look at it. Just going to drag that right leg in behind. Obi Woodbine will get this one back into play. We'll go far side to Ferguson. Chang. Good pressure from McMahon, knocks it forward to Dixon. There's Walls. Tosh. Checking back is Dos Santos. Good movement here by the Rhinos, finding Obasi on the near side. Takes a look. Still with it, Obasi. Maybe too many touches there as it's broken up by Woodbine. Garbanzo battling with Tosh. Coming in is Kelly. Knocked off the ball by Van de Castile, and that's what the Charleston forwards are going to have to deal with today. Big, strong defenders for the Rhinos. Here's one of them, Obasi. Slides to keep it in play and may catch a little burn there as it's a hot surface. We were on it before the field, or before the game, and very warm. The sun beating down on those rubber pellets. As he swipes them off and gets back into play. Woodbine's throwing. Down by Obasi. Dos Santos. Forbes. Cheeky little pass looking for Dixon. Gets him outside. Still Dixon. Back to Forbes. Now Walls. Walls working the far side with some possession. Tony Walls. Low cross. Dos Santos. Goal! Well taken in the 10th minute. Dos Santos didn't have much space, but he made it work.
Great goal there. Great build there by the Rhinos. A good run from a deep position from Tony Walls. Really created that entire play. Got down the line, crossed it to essentially an open Steven Dos Santos.
He had to drag that right foot behind him. Here's a close-up look at it. Oh, that's a nice goal.
It's one for the highlight reel.
That is a nice goal. We're talking candidate for goal of the week for Dos Santos, who gets his 6th of the season.
And great for Steven Dos Santos. Missed last week's game due to an illness. Just caught something, caught the bug going around. So it's good for his confidence to get back and get back to his scoring ways.
10th minute, Dos Santos from Walls.
Rhinos goal. Scored by
Second assist of the season for Walls. 6th goal of the year for the big man.
Santos. With the assist number 20.
Going on the near side for the battery.
That's Dos Santos from Walls in the 10th minute.
Long into the box. Punched away by Miller. Loose ball blocked by Tosh. Another shot headed away by Apostolopoulos. And Woodbine's swerving shot off the frame. You know, you look at Brandon Miller's numbers this season, 0.24 goals against average, but right there also indicative of the help he's getting from the guys in front.
Oh, absolutely. It's been definitely a mutual relationship there. I think they've both saved each other on numerous occasions, and it's paying off. Best way to sum it up, it's definitely paying off.
11th minute. Have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? Get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub, USLsoccer.com. Rhinos get the early lead. Obasi looking for more. Plays it back to Apostolopoulos. There's a whole bunch of games at home, 7. The remaining 10 will be here at Salem Stadium. Mueller knocks it off of Obasi. And Woodbine will get this one back into play. Woodbine taking his time and getting some space as well. Obasi wins the header. Out of play again. Woodbine will come up once more.
No one from battery really showing that urgency to get on the ball. Usually you'll see a Justin Portillo check through and really pull the strings. Hopefully they're...
And the fans a little upset. Woodbine is lifting up his right leg on his throw-ins. That's the 3rd time he's done it. And the referee yet to make the call. I mean, he's getting a good distance on it, but you can see his right leg coming up clearly. Here's Boyd. Tosh pokes it away. Good hard challenge, gets it to Dos Santos. There's Dos Santos 1v3. Smart choice to hold it up. And if Woodbine can get away with it, why not? Go for it till the call's made.
Great play there by Sean Tosh, and even better play, I think, by Steven Dos Santos, who was just glowing after his goal. He's vibrant.
Forbes with a bomb from distance. We've seen him tee it up several times this season.
Fancies himself, doesn't he?
Indoors and outdoors. Boyd. Obasi slipped down, but apparently touched the ball with his hand.
Banana peel on the field over there.
Yeah,
a few times now.
There's been a few slipping incidents. Portillo will get this one back to Woodbine. Now, you're familiar with Portillo. Not the biggest of players, but very technical.
Big fan of his. Big fan of his. I don't think you saw as much dominance from him last year. I saw him a lot of times playing out right, but I think he's earned that right to be just that deep line playmaker, and has earned the trust of his coach, of his teammates, and it's fun to watch. Very fun to watch. Hopefully we'll see a little more of that today.
Portillo, 1 assist last season. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist in the campaign for the battery, the current campaign. McMahon space and time on the far side. Dixon making a run. Has to backtrack, and they're going to call him for coming back from an offsides position. Battery will have the restart. We're in the 15th minute. If you're just tuning in, it was Dos Santos in the 10th minute from Tony Walls, and it's given Rochester a 1-0 lead. Apostolopoulos steps up, but Garbanzo still plays it forward to Kelly. Trying to go to the far side, not enough juice on it. Taken away by McMahon. Forbes. A pocket of space opening up there for the Rhinos to slow it down and keep possession.
A lot of space, actually. You see between the midfield and the forward lines, there's a lot of space between those battery players. Could be a bit of the fatigue from the earlier trip showing. It is hot out there today.
This one out of bounds off the foot of Tony Walls, looking for Obasi. Woodbine. Crowd likes that one. It was good.
As long as they approve.
That's it. That's all that matters. A jetty. Good step from McMahon, but Chang able to come away with it. Finds Kelly. Looking for Garbanzo. He slips up on the turf.
Another one.
Footing a bit of an issue here today. Very dry, hot surface. Tosh. Walls. Back to Tosh. Looking for Obasi. Flag comes up for offside, so Obasi will save some energy and not run that one down. There'll be a throw-in coming up for the Battery. Rhinos are in action on Saturday, August the 1st at Charlotte, while Charleston will be home against FC Montreal on Saturday, August the 1st. Referee and his assistant trying to clarify if they're going to go with a throw-in or a kick, and they will go with the offsides call. So it'll be put back into play by Woodbine. Charleston falling 1-0 in Toronto on Friday, hoping that Louisville would struggle in Wilmington, but of all places to play, Louisville ends up playing in Wilmington, a team that has not won a game at home. And they walked away with a 3-1 win for their 5th straight victory.
Oof, nice move there.
Here's Dos Santos sprinting into the 18. Unselfish, looking for Mendoza. And it's Cooper who ends up with it.
Good idea there. Good work there by Dos Santos. Like I said, he is just gushing with almost blushing, really.
Yeah,
Look at him. He's glowing from over here. It's nothing but smiles, so it's good to see. Definitely
Big
good.
smile after the introductions.
Yeah.
Tossing the ball into the crowd. A little bounce in his step today. Nothing wrong with that.
Definitely good for the Rhinos. Top scorer looking to find his form once again.
Bossi tripped up and knocked off balance by Garbanzo. Free kick coming up here for the Rhinos, 18th minute. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. It's the USL on Facebook. Back forward looking for Kelly. Dane Kelly, the 24-year-old, 10 goals last season, the team MVP. Now going for Garbanzo. And that aerial ball is going to be won by Van de Castile with ease. Tosh. He's seen a lot of the ball here in the first half. A lot of touches.
Yeah, and they're allowing him to have it, which I'm not sure if that's the way Charleston should go about it. I think the longer Rochester has possessions, the more they're growing into this game.
Charleston, that flat line, 4 midfielders, and Garbanzo and Kelly. Not going to try to tuck in there, but Tosh and Walls have seen a lot of touches here. Here's Tosh again. Van de Castile almost going to Tosh, and he does this time. There's that pocket. He's finding it. Obasi. Now Tosh again. Outside to McMahon. Garbanzo dropping behind Kelly. But the Rhinos still finding ways and space to move it forward. Dixon to Walls. Back outside to McMahon. The Rhinos have a lot of the ball here.
Yeah, I think there's no debating it. Charleston's definitely feeling that residual tiredness, that fatigue from the trip. I think that early goal didn't help either.
Say, yeah, to add insult to injury.
Yeah.
Woodbine steps in and wins a call, as well as it was Dos Santos who clipped him. There's Van Schaik. The team captain, the 26-year-old Jared Van Schaik, taking over for Colin Falvey. It's back to Ferguson, another of the defensive players for the Battery after losing Falvey, Wilson, and Sanyang last year. Battery's defensive numbers have actually improved with Mueller, Ferguson patrolling the back line. There's Van Schaik. Chang. A jetty. Woodbine gets a little squirt of water on the near side, as it is a humid day, but I'm sure nothing like they're seeing in South Carolina right now at this time of year. Long ball, neatly tucked away by Apostolopoulos, sent forward by Obasi. And shake, Portillo.
It's almost like a lull to the game right now, isn't there? It's like, you can have it for a little bit, catch my breath.
Methodical.
I will say, Charleston, earlier in the season, you did see them go down early, almost weather the storm, and then come back, rally, and get those points back. So they're definitely not a team to count out too early.
There was a press release I saw regarding this game. Not sure where it came from, maybe USL, but they said Rhinos and Battery to open things up today. And I was like, I don't think so.
I don't know about that.
I haven't seen that one yet through 21 minutes. Two of the better defensive sides.
The goal supports that claim, but
yeah, maybe another one here. Kelly cuts it back to his right. And Van de Castile comes in to clear it out of danger.
Once again, help from the turf. Lost his footing there.
There was a game here last night in the NWSL. The Western New York Flash took on Carly Lloyd and the Houston Dash. And then, as we mentioned earlier today, 62 youth soccer teams all over the field, and small field set up throughout the park. We're putting a little matting down on the turf here at Salem Stadium.
Yeah, it definitely affected it in some way. There's no reason it should be slipping that often on a hot day like this.
It's Woodbine back to Mueller. Now it's Ferguson outside to a Jetty, 26-year-old. Charleston very slow, keeping possession, and really no need for them to entertain. They're the visiting team. They can sit back and pick and choose to try and get level here. See if the Rhinos feel any pressure to open things up. They've got the early lead though, so they're in command at this point. There's Portillo checking back for it. Looking up at the shape of the Rhinos' defense, just excellent. Preventing anything from going forward.
Yeah, they're on their toes today. Rhinos are very alert defensively. You see them shifting together as a unit and really not allowing any space past half field for the Battery.
Follow at USL on Twitter. Become a league insider. And join club conversations and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. It's USL on Twitter. Don't even have to wait for a stoppage for that. Kelly slips again. He may want to change his footing, his footwear. As he goes down and Van de Castile comes away with it. Forbes with some space. Decides to cut it back. Slow it down. Go to Obasi. Good choice. Obasi. Swerving cross, far side. Chang will get on the end of it. They'll push it inside. Now back outside against McMahon. Quadruple step over. McMahon just pokes it away.
No end product.
Dixon steals it. Oh, almost got Dos Santos in. Good defending there by McMahon. Just standing, holding his ground. Not biting on the step overs.
Did very well there. That was a big play. Apart from McMahon, there was a lot of space after him, so big play.
It is up and over the head of Dane Kelly. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. 24th minute, the Rhinos with a 1-0 lead. I'm Joe Giuliano along with Christian Silva. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here on the Rhinos Broadcast Network. There's Christian Silva moving from the field up into the booth. And we're going to have a yellow card issue to Garbanzo for his challenge against Steven Dos Santos. This comes in the 25th minute. First yellow card of the game.
And I think that tackle right there just kind of sums up the entire demeanor of the Charleston team right now. I think it's a bit of fatigue setting in and a bit of carelessness, to be honest.
Garbanzo, the 22-year-old of Coastal Carolina University. Now that's a university that would scrimmage the Charleston Battery year in and year out in the preseason. Garbanzo had 4 years of those friendly matches, and Mike Anhauser got to know him pretty well, thus leading to a contract with the Charleston Battery. Garbanzo, good season so far. 4 goals, 2 assists. Woodbine takes a touch inside, back out to Ferguson. A Jetty. 26 minutes in. Charleston will come with Mueller on the near side. His 4th season with the Battery. There's Kelly.
Another
Castile, a
fantastic-
hard challenge, and Steven loses possession.
Huge tackle there by Grant Van de Castile. Just really making a statement back there. So
If you're going to come across the middle against this Rhinos defense, watch out. And Mendoza gets issued a little payback there.
I think Rochester really relishing in this opportunity to make a statement and say who really is #1 here.
That last challenge sent Mendoza down to the turf and brought Anhauser off the bench in a bit of unhappiness. Tosh will have the restart. No, he won't. Bossi will. McMahon to Mendoza. Ball's under pressure. Good ball quickly outside to McMahon. Forbes, Steven, goes Santos. Chang nudges it away, but Mendoza picks up the loose ball. Tony Walls. Knocked away by Woodbine.
Good idea, just telegraphed it a bit too early.
And Van de Castile again. He has been fierce today.
Yeah, right?
All over the field, winning balls, knocking players off on good, hard challenges. Grant Van de Castile, USL Team of the Week 2 times so far this season, the 24-year-old. The former draft pick of the Colorado Rapids. The 2014 MLS Super Draft has the ball now. Tosh, the 28th minute, Rhinos with a 1-0 lead.
Bit of miscommunication there. Rhinos just checking into each other's space, really giving no options to pass when they think they are.
Miller down the middle. Headed forward though for Portillo. He does play pretty simple, Portillo. Doesn't give it up very often at all. High percentage passes. Has the ball now, Portillo. Spins, plays it onto the near side for Mueller. Gets it back. You can see they're looking for him to kickstart a little attack. There's Mueller. Woodbine. Gets it back on the near side, looks up. Good cross, and Miller steps up and over Kelly to make the save there for the Rhinos. Here's a look at that one. Dangerous ball. Swerving away from the keeper. A couple Charleston players knocking on the door there. There's Pat McMahon to Tosh. He just kind of drops back 5-10 yards in that little pocket, able to receive the ball and start the Rhinos forward.
Yeah, just really taking advantage of those, almost a lack of defending from those front guys on Charleston.
Here's Boyd. Chips it forward, flag comes up as Kelly in behind the defense. The Battery looking to spring their 9-goal scorer with 2 assists, Dane Kelly. Miller put this one back into play. Dixon. Bossi all the way back to Miller. High one towards midfield. Wind will slow this one down just a bit. As this one may reach Cooper. Yes, he has to hurry though. All USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. There's Tosh. Dos Santos. Double teamed and knocked away by the Battery defense. With the far side, Mendoza. Serves into the box. Woodbine cuts it to the outside, goes back inside for Mueller. Long ball looking for Kelly again in the air. Apostolopoulos. Van de Castile will eat those up. There's Kelly on the ground, and the flag does come up. A little help from the Rhinos defense as well. And offsides called on the Charleston Battery. They're 9-3-7. So players like Chang, Cooper, Boyd, and Cordovez, who is not in the starting lineup, should be fresh. As Forbes unleashes a powerful shot. That's off the mark.
Should be fresh, but I think when you've got the 7 other guys essentially dragging a bit, it's a bit of a contagious attitude.
Nice look at that shot from Forbes. Not afraid to take it from distance. Forbes on the season, 1 goal, 2 assists. Played indoors in the MASL with the Syracuse Silver Knights. 22 goals, 14 assists. And I had the pleasure of calling several of his games indoors, and boy, can he pack a powerful shot. Saw it many times this winter. As Obasi and the Rhinos continue to attack. Outside for Johnny Mendoza, the 25-year-old, coming over from Orlando.
Interesting decision to overlap right in the middle of the field there.
And Van de Castile just steps in hard and gives a little shove. He's going to want to be careful. He's going to get a yellow card already as he shoves Garbanzo down to the turf. There's a look at it. Clearly obstructing the run of Garbanzo.
Yeah, you see that little kick after the play when he was upside down. Definitely what Grant Van de Castile is angry about.
Van de Castile in the book in the 33rd minute. Not taking too kindly to the swiping or the kicking of the leg there by Garbanzo.
Yeah, a bit of a cheap shot, but like I said, I think the entire body language of the Charleston Battery team right now is showing that they're frustrated, and it's just a result of it.
Boyd, his one-time shot shanked off the outside of his foot. And out of play, it'll be a throw-in coming up here. As both coaches really not happy with the officiating. Bob Lilly having a word with the 4th official. I'm sure when he's done, Mike Anhauser will have his say as well. Tough spot to be between the 2 benches as Steve Montanino, the 4th official today, slowly working his way away from Bob Lilly, and I'm sure Mike Anhauser getting ready to say his mind or his piece as well. And Bob Lilly, not one to mince words.
The Rhinos would like to thank Hillside Children's Foundation for
Very good at saying what's on his mind.
We'd also like to thank all the fans who donated unwrapped
Had a chance to catch up with him last week on Saturday. And it was a great soccer conversation. Haven't had a chance to speak with him too often this season, but when we do, it's always good soccer talk. Portillo flicks it on. Forbes tries to spin, can't do it. A jetty. Gets it to Kelly, but he comes from an offsides position, and flag comes up. And it'll be a restart here for the home side. Rochester 6-0-1 at home, 5-0-6 away from home. They're only 4 matches away from tying the USL record of 22 consecutive matches without a loss. That was set by the 2013 Richmond Kickers. This rolled back to Cooper. He'll take his time here in the 36th minute. Punt gets over midfield. And down to the near side, Woodbine barely keeps Dixon off of the ball.
Woodbine not even looking at the ball on that play. 2 forearms straight to Dixon's chest.
These two teams playing once in Charleston, now here in Rochester today. That'll do it for their regular season meetings. But come playoff time, if history repeats itself, they've met 10 times in the playoffs already. We'll see if it happens again this season. Ferguson to Ajeti. Now to Mueller. Back to Ferguson. College of Charleston, the 6'4", 200-pound central defender. Intercepted and sent forward now for Canardo Forbes. Forbes working hard, battled against Van Schaik. Still with it, Forbes, and neatly tucks it back to Obasi. Steven, heavy touch there. And taken away by Portillo. Ajeti. To Kelly. As Navion Boyd is down and waiting for the assistance of the trainer in the 37th minute. Charleston, they have a player who's down and getting looked at by the trainer. They've got the backup keeper in Corby, Griffith, Turier, Rodriguez, Marini, Savage, and Cordovez listed as substitutes. And it's the right thigh of Boyd that's being looked at. Boyd, the 28-year-old, on loan from Tivoli Gardens in Jamaica. Gets help coming back onto his feet. Didn't see the contact or if he just cramped up. Bob Lilly gets a chance to regroup and speak with Alex Dixon and a few of the players during this water break. And it looks like Boyd will be done for the day as Quentin Griffith appears to be suiting up to come on here.
Just keeps getting worse for Charleston, doesn't it? Having to go to their bench that early into the half. Still haven't seen them respond, though. They're still stuck in a bit of a lull, I think, sulking a bit on that early goal.
So Griffith will come on, the 23-year-old, his 8th appearance of the season, and he'll replace Navion Boyd. And this is the first change of the game, 39th minute. Probably earlier than Mike Anhauser would have liked. But nonetheless, he's got to go to the bench. Griffith, acquired from Antigua Barracuda last season. He'll take his side on the near side of midfield. Dixon wins the call here for the Rhinos. Tosh, get this one into play. Very slow pace to this one. Rhinos coming in, giving up 6 goals. Charleston, 18. Lake Galaxy also with 18 against. As Tosh chips one into the box. And flag comes up for Rhinos offsides. Louisville, 16 goals against. That is good for second best in the league. As again, we've talked about them. 5 straight wins, and they're climbing up the charts. to catch the Rhinos like everybody else in the USL. Pastelopoulos doesn't get the touch he wants, and it'll be...
To be fair, that's probably the best thing that could have happened. They fell out of bounds. Charleston was really stepping forward, pressing.
Other way is trouble.
Anticipating a pass to Brandon Miller there.
Let's see Woodbine. He's had some trouble keeping that 1 foot down. We'll see if they take a close look at it.
The crowd will let them know, that's for
they
sure.
will. They have before. Long throwing coming up here for Charleston. Woodbine steps, and again, the foot came up.
Almost a chest pass.
It's unbelievable. A jetty. Up and over everybody. Miller will keep it in play and prevent the possible corner kick for Charleston. Brandon Miller, 14th appearance of the season. 9 shutouts, has only given up 3 goals. Rolls it out to the far side, or throws it out to McMahon. Quickly chips it forward for Mendoza. And a jetty reaches in front of Steven Dos Santos. Mueller. Will go long now, looking for Kelly. Brings it down. And then Shake. And Woodbine. Portillo. Back to Mueller. Ferguson. Doesn't take too many chances. Couple touches forward, then sits back home with Mueller. Ferguson, that is. It's played back to Cooper.
Very conservative in the back, but I don't think they're taking into account the front 6 keep checking for the ball over and over, and in this heat, it's starting to take its toll.
And those runs do stop, don't they?
Yeah, then they don't come quite as often.
Long ball looking for Woodbine. Obasi was not last to touch it. Charleston not happy with it. They felt Obasi did get a piece of it, but nonetheless, it'll be a goal kick for the Rhinos in the 43rd minute. 1-0 if you're just tuning in. Dos Santos in the 10th minute from Tony Walls, putting Rochester up and holding on to this 1-0 lead. Shake, selected to the USL Team of the Week, wins the header. Apostolopoulos comes through hard and gets the challenge. Sent to Obasi. Mendoza streaking in. Cleared away to Ajetti. Man closing down the gap, giving nothing to Kelly. Portillo to Ajetti. Now Kelly. Wall sticks the leg out, wins it nicely for the Rhinos. Good bit of work. Looking for Dos Santos. And Mueller will get there first. Portillo back to Ferguson. Now Woodbine.
And here we go again. The runs just stopped coming. Now it's almost settling for a long ball to Kelly once again.
I think he nailed it on the head. They were making a lot of those runs, didn't get the ball. And this is really slowed down in the 44th minute. As Walls is called for the foul. And Charleston will have a chance to pump one into the box here in minute number 44. Portillo is over the ball. Now, some big targets do move up. You've got Mueller and Ferguson as options in the box. Van Schaik making his way over as well.
Yeah, definitely one to want to take advantage of, especially with just the fatigueness they've been showing.
There's a service from Portillo. Headed away by Steven Dos Santos. Woodbine, in the 45th minute, goes outside to Portillo. Driven ball into the box. Miller off his line. Makes the save.
I think Charleston finding out real quick that if you don't make the runs in the middle, that long ball is not going to work. Brandon Miller will eat those up all game.
And if he doesn't, you've got the 2 big guys right there to help out.
Absolutely.
45th minute. We'll have 1 minute of stoppage time. As Griffith, who came out in the 39th minute, denied there by Obasi.
Got to give a lot of credit to Rochester. They've really been closing down that space impeccably today. They're just switched on defensively, not allowing any space to run into, any passing lanes. It's almost suffocating the battery team.
Great word, suffocating. Charleston has not been able to do anything here in the first half.
1 minute. 1 minute of stoppage time.
There's Van Schaik to Mueller. Again, long ball sent in. Van de Castile wins it.
Once again.
It's like a book you read over and over. Break it up. Charleston starts again, trying to penetrate. Garbanzo. Wall stops him. This defense is absolutely incredible. 6 goals against. Trying to beat the 1998 Rhinos, who gave up a team record 15 that season.
Big City Sportswear, screen printing, embroidery.
As we are in first half stoppage time.
Winner feel like a winner. Big City.
Miller will put this one back into play. On the far side. And there is the whistle for the first half of play coming to a close. Dos Santos and the Rhinos have a 1-0 lead. Cooper again with it. There's Van Schaik. Ferguson, no, it's Mueller, I'm sorry. Looking for Griffith. Couple bounces, Obasi and Griffith battle for it. And Obasi has to give up a corner kick. 51 minutes in, and a corner kick finally. It'll be from the far side for the Charleston batter. And here's a look at that last opportunity. Dixon streaking down the far side and placing one onto the foot of Mendoza.
And see, right about there is where you want to see a good change of direction, something to really throw that defense off balance, but still came close.
Corner kick cleared away by the Rhinos defense. Forbes streaking up towards midfield. Woodbine marking him. Forbes looking for Mendoza, gets it at the 18, shot! Cooper with a huge save! Mendoza still with it. For McMahon. Now Walls. The counterattack opportunity was huge there. Walls coming in again, tripped up. Referee says play on, no call. And then Walls and Ferguson get tangled up. Well, Mendoza, 6 minutes in, has had 2 really good looks.
And those are plays you have to finish, especially for Rochester. Believe it or not, plays like that can really resuscitate almost a dying battery team right now.
And here is that one. Mendoza is wide open. And Cooper comes up huge.
I'll mention again, those plays really could be a wake-up call to the Battery team, so hopefully we'll see a bit of a response from them.
The tough Battery defense cracking here early in the second half. Two good opportunities, both for Mendoza. There's Kelly. 9 goals, 2 assists on the season. Trying to light things up here. McMahon denies him, and it'll be a goal kick. As Charleston is absolutely furious. Referee again waving it off, and it'll be coming out the other way. Here's a look at it. That's a corner kick. From that initial angle.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Miller will get the goal kick. I didn't see if there was a last touch by Kelly, but it did look like the Rhinos were the last ones to get a piece of it. And we'll have a throw in here in front of the Rhinos bench. 54th minute. Rhinos with a 1-0 lead. Mendoza for Dos Santos. Mueller pops it out on the near side. Throw-in coming up here for Forbes. Chang down the middle of the field, Obasi. Still Obasi. Mendoza. Outside to Forbes, can't keep it in play. Have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? Get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub, USLsoccer.com.
Rochester Rhinos would like to say thank you to Hillside Children's Foundation for sponsoring today's Christmas in July. We'd also like to
55th minute, Rhinos 1, Charleston nothing. The 10th minute goal from Dos Santos, holding on right now. McMahon, good throw in. Dos Santos to Mendoza. Seems to pick up some energy here in the second half. Forbes, swerving ball at the 6, nobody on the end of it. Dixon, shot, headed away by Mueller. Up in the air. One hop into the 18. A Jetty, a dangerous clearance. Tosh will keep the pressure up. As Obasi and the Rhinos coming out with pressure here in the second half. Griffith. Obasi gets around him. Still Obasi. Deflected. Cooper got a piece of it. No one there to pounce on it and slam it home for the Rhinos. Mendoza. The Rhinos continue to come forward. Service into the box. The header. Obasi couldn't get on it. As Griffith will clear it away. Now it's picking up.
Weathering a storm, the Battery right there. Done well to not get scored on, but at this rate, it's only a matter of time.
The Rhinos coming at the Battery here in the first 10 minutes of half number 2. Forbes, still Forbes. He can tee it up if he's given space. Little jersey tug. Gets away from 1, almost gets away from 2. And the referee says play on. Let's call a loose one here. Forbes down, holding his face. Slow to get up, still on one knee. Yes. Referee will bring this one to a halt. Canardo Forbes laying on his back. Well, I think we saw more action in the first 10 minutes of this half than we saw in the entire first 45.
I think you have to. I think Charleston's finally really starting to realize what's on the line now. And Battery responding accordingly. Or sorry, Rhinos responding accordingly.
There's Forbes dancing in and out. Takes the elbow right to the face. It was Ferguson who came swinging around with the arms. And it's Canardo Forbes who took the worst of it. We're in the 57th minute. And be sure to become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. It's the USL on Facebook. Well, I don't know if this delay is good or bad for the Rhinos. They've come out and they've found some rhythm, some pace, and now it has to stop here for the injury. So hopefully they can pick it up where they left off.
It's definitely good for the Battery. Like I said, they were weathering a storm, doing well, and it seemed like Rochester was right there about to get one in. So
Admiral official supplier of your Rhinos. Get your ammo
And it'll be a throw in on the far side for Charleston. Woodbine to take it.
This kiosk under the scoreboard. Follow it, USL on
Woodbine to take it. Forbes gets looked at and also heads towards midfield. As Charleston will go to the bench once again. Javier Cordovez, a 25-year-old Cuban, getting ready to check in. And we'll see who he replaces. He's going to replace number 17, Ricky Garbanzo. And this change coming up in the 58th minute. Garbanzo is off. Cordovez is on. Normally he comes on late game relief for Dane Kelly. But tonight he is on in place of Garbanzo in the 58th minute. Forbes is back on the field as well. Second change of the game for the Battery. Mueller to Ferguson. Mendoza has been energized here in the second half, as well as Forbes. Right down the middle, forced the giveaway. Good pressure. Gerardo Forbes can settle it down. Chang chasing him. Plays it back to McMahon. It has been all Rhinos. Charleston very sluggish throughout the first 58 minutes. Dixon back to Tosh. Now Walls. Spins away from Portillo. Plays it back to Obasi. Stops, starts again. So good at that. Dos Santos. Obasi. Cooper slides out. Gets a piece of the ball. Gets a piece of Dixon as well. And they'll say Dixon nudged it out of play, and a goal kick coming up here for the Battery. Here's a look at it, Christian. Whatever Bob Lilly said in the locker room, really sparking his team. They have come out with renewed energy. And the crowd even starting to get into it.
Yeah, I think Rochester really feels that they've got him on the ropes and would feel better if they could just put this game away.
1-0 might not be enough.
I think we mentioned earlier Charleston made a bit of a made it known that they were going to be a team that's going to fight all the way through. The first few games they were going down early, fighting back and getting that point, so they're definitely not a team to take lightly, especially in the latter part of the game.
Charleston only given up one goal or more one time in their last 13 games. Here's Chang. Kelly knocked off the ball by Walls, and he waves his arms up in the air, not happy with Chang. Steven Dos Santos, oh, they're going to leave the flag down. Now he goes to play the ball, so it comes up. At first, Dos Santos was going to let it roll through, and the flag was going to stay down. And as soon as he went to play it, the flag comes back up. Quick restart taken by the Battery. Knocked out of bounds off the foot of Apostolopoulos. Cordovez will win a throw-in for the Charleston Battery. 3-3 away from beautiful Blackbaud Stadium. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the first, if not one of the first soccer-specific stadiums in the country.
I do think it was, and what a tremendous atmosphere it is to play over there.
Love going down there to call games. Can't imagine how it is to play. Long throw-in, punched up in the air. Referee's assistant on the far side has his flag up. And we're gonna play on. 62nd minute, Miller's punt up to midfield. Forbes, nice job off the chest for Mendoza. Comes in hard against the Jetty. And it's off of the Rhinos midfielder. Throw-in coming up here for the Charleston Battery. Some other scores from the weekend. Check this one out. Tulsa 4-0 over Vancouver. Tulsa's 4 goals all in the second half. Not the way you want to do it.
curious what that coach said to him at halftime. May have to YouTube that speech.
Yeah, right? Talk about getting your guys fired up. There's McMahon, 63rd minute. Portillo heads it away. Cordovez. Possession taken back by the Rhinos. Kostalopoulos to Obasi. Rochester yet to go to the bench. 63rd minute. We are quickly approaching Rudy time, I believe. Chang.
Is that what it's called?
That's what we'll call it now. And you know, like I said, we had Garzi up here at halftime. He's out with a yellow card suspension. And there's so many options, so much depth. Tosh, who got the start today. It could have been Rudy. It's just, who do you go with? And who do you defend against if you're the opposition?
I mean, I think it's a great problem to have for Rochester, if we even call it a problem, but you've got plenty of options. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be tough to coach against. You can't really plan for a certain formation or anything.
Right down the middle. Mueller, a strong header back into the Rhinos half. Portillo. Griffith, a high one into the box. Miller beats Cordovez to it. It's a round of applause from the crowd.
Okay, Rhino fans.
Rhinos in action again on Saturday, August 1st against Charlotte. They'll be on the road before they return home to take on the Richmond Kickers on Sunday, August the 9th. Richmond, 7-4-8, 29 points in the Eastern Conference. Tosh, Walls,
Sorry, guys, just testing
Chang
you.
gets it to Cordovez. McMahon steps in nicely.
McMahon saving the day by an unforced error by Walls. That's it's not the way you want to go right now. I think we've got him on the ropes. You really got to try and finish him off.
There's Walls stepping in. Turning the corner. Driven ball and a powerful header from Dos Santos. And it's just high. They almost combine once again.
Walls seemed a bit inspired after that giveaway.
Oof. That had some pace on it. Santos not too far off the mark. Be sure to follow at USL on Twitter, become a league insider, join conversations, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways at USL on Twitter. Obasi straight up wins it hard. Dos Santos coming back to Dixon. Now Dos Santos again. Mueller comes in, hard tackle. And off of Dos Santos, throw in here for the Charleston battery. As it'll be Woodbine over to take it. And not sure if it's going to be a kick or a throw-in.
I think he's calling it a deflection of Dos Santos.
Shots 6-2 in favor of the Rhinos. Cooper, 2 saves. Miller with 1. Corner kicks, only 1 in the game. Charleston in the second half, about 52 minutes in, the only corner kick of the match. That tells you where a lot of the play has been. Van de Castile playing on a yellow card in the 33rd minute. McMahon to Mendoza. You know, we haven't talked much about McMahon because he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's been so good.
Very consistent, does his job well, doesn't do anything outside of his locker, as we say. Just solid.
Yeah.
There's no other way to describe him.
Keep it up, my friend. You've been good. And he goes down. Team's not sure which way this kick is going to go. And they decide it is a Rhinos kick. Pat McMahon, 27 years old, Played 27 games last season with the Rhinos. Today his 18th appearance. No points last season, no points yet this year, but just steady, good, solid defender.
Just a player who knows what he's good at and continues to do it week in, week out.
And Rudy coming over now to get his final instructions from Big George Kiriatsis and Bob Lilly. And speaking of Rhinos coaches, happy birthday to Gavin McInerney, the goalkeeper guru.
That's why he snuck
And
off.
fan favorite. Gavo, happy birthday, my friend. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're celebrating. We'll be back across the pond once again. If you are, best wishes, my boy. So Santos back to Mendoza. Now Dixon. There's Tosh. To Dixon. In the 69th minute, the Rhinos lead at 1-0. There's Walls. Spinning, finding Van de Castile. Push forward for Grant. Laid off to Forbes. Cuts it to his left. Forbes just tried to push it back to Dos Santos. Couldn't get it there. And a shake. Now back to Woodbine. Jetty. Looking for options. You can see his hands like, come on, guys, I need help.
Yeah,
Finds it in Chang.
Charleston's just being their own worst enemy this game. I mean, not to take anything away from the Rhinos, but you saw that last play. They had a chance to counter and just take a negative touch, slow down the play, and all of a sudden they're back in that lull once again.
There's Dos Santos and takes it away from Mueller. Taking a couple touches forward. Dos Santos still with it. The shot, Cooper gets a piece of it again. And he looks back at his defense and says, what's going on?
This substitution for your Rochester Rhinos entering the
There's a
game
look
is
at the
number
replay. Give Dos Santos credit here for the hustle.
3, Alex Dixon.
So Rudy will be coming on in the 70th minute. He's going to replace Alex Dixon. As the last save there by Cooper, who's come up big here in the second half. Leads to the first quarter kick of the game in the 70th minute for the Rhinos.
Interesting change up there, taking out a more of a true winger for a center mid. I think that'll switch us up to a bit of a diamond formation, maybe try and look to keep a bit more possession and see the game out.
Dixon is off, Rudy is on in the 70th minute. It's Mendoza and Forbes on the far side for the corner kick. Looking to get their 10 yards. Mendoza, swerving ball through the mix. Dos Santos just couldn't get the quick foot on it. He tried to settle it, and there's no way that space is gonna be there. It closes real quick. Double substitution coming up here for the Charleston battery. It's gonna be Marini and Turriere coming on, and we'll see who they replace. It's going to be Mueller coming off for Turriere in the 71st minute, and Marini on for Woodbine, also in minute number 72 now.
Woodbine not happy to come off the field, wanted nothing to do with shaking the coach's hand there.
2 substitutions.
Turriere is on along with Marini, and Woodbine and Mueller come off.
Turriere replacing number 4, Taylor Mueller.
Fourth
also entering number
change
19,
of the game
Dante Marini, replacing
for
number 7,
Charleston.
Obi Woodbine.
Rochester gets in the changing game as well. Voleski will be coming on for Dos Santos. And they'll get a round of applause for his 10th minute goal and his effort today. 72nd minute, Dos Santos is off. He's got his 6th goal of the season.
And a great shift there by Dos Santos, which now puts him as the leading scorer for the Rhinos. Well deserved, really put in the work week in, week out, and is starting, I think just starting to show the league what he can do.
Voleski in, he's got 6 goals and an assist on the year. So he's gonna look to get ahead of Dos Santos now. as he'll have about 18 minutes plus stoppage time to do it. Walewski also sitting on 4 yellow cards. He's going to want to be careful here. 1 yellow card away from a 1-game suspension. There's Kelly. And Castile just marking him, tracking him down and closing down the gaps.
He's giving him absolutely nothing today.
Dane Kelly, 9 goals, 2 assists. The Jamaican has been held in check, but you see it so many times in this game of soccer. 85, 89 minutes, and then boom, that scorer finds a way to make it happen.
That's a true striker right there. All they need is that one chance. Which I don't know, the way Grant's going, I don't know if he'll even get that today.
Yeah, he seems determined. Turrier gets the header on it. Cordovez. And Castile there again. And behind the play, or a little late on the challenge, was Cordovez. Getting a piece of Van de Castile. And he'll be okay, just gonna shake off the knock. Don't forget that Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information.
Now I really mean it. Who wants a Rhinos t-shirt?
Miller
Now it's time to get out
will get this one in play.
See, you got all lined up. The t-shirt toss brought to you by
74 minutes, the Rhinos won, the Battery nothing. Second and final meeting of the regular season. Forbes gets taken down by Chang. Call is made. Forbes wants a little more, but he's not going to get it. It'll be Rudy on the restart. Israel back up the wall. Here's Rudy stepping in. Serves a good free kick. We'll see if he gets one here. He does. A little too low, though. Had to swerve on it, just not high enough. And we'll trot over. We'll have the throw in. Leg's not warm enough yet. Just came on. There's Walls. He's done some good damage along the end line. Rudy couldn't find a target. Poor clearance. Rhinos keep it up. Rudy again. Chips. Far side of the 18, Mendoza. He has brought energy and excitement to this second half. Forbes back to Obasi. Mendoza. Forbes. Good movement off the ball. Mendoza was on the flank. Now he's in the middle showing. Gets it back.
Rudy seems to be limping again. I think that ankle is coming back to haunt him once again.
He looks like he is in a lot of pain. He just came out in the 70th minute, 6 minutes ago. Rhinos do have 3 substitutions available in the final stretch, but we'll see if Rudy can work it out. The player who's on loan from the Revolution out of Georgetown University. And McMahon comes crashing into Cordovez, who's still down. Referee's playing on. Turrier still with it. Meets the wall of white, and Apostolopoulos comes away with it.
And I think that just sums up the effort tonight. You see Rochester, you had Christian Walewski, the entire attacking 4 or 5 back there, shutting down a shot, 20 yards from our goal?
Powerful performance from everybody.
It's just a mentality. I keep saying it over and over. I mean, it's nothing, that's not something you essentially practice, do you? Get 6 guys right there. It's more of a mentality, a team on the same page saying, look, we're not getting scored on today, period.
They have been nasty, and that's keeping it kind. They have been tough. Forbes. Now McMahon. Walewski gets it to Rudy. Looks like he's going to be okay. Forbes back to McMahon. Walls. Short passing, possession here, but taken away by Ajeti. But nowhere to go but a jersey in white. Van de Castile, the Rhinos continue with possession. Forbes touches and turns. Still with it, Forbes. Knocked off the ball by Ferguson. Turrier gets away from Walls, comes forward. A chance here for Charleston to break up now. Cordovez. Weak shot blocked. And Obasi, calm and cool, knocks it forward to Walls. Mendoza decides to go back with it.
Intelligent play there by Mendoza. It may seem like he didn't do much with it, but really stepping on your foot, putting a little pause to the game really allows everyone to get settled.
Tosh. McMahon. Walls steps on the ball. Cordovez ties his shoe and leaves it. Walls will come away with it. Outside to Obasi. Back to Apostolopoulos. Now Tosh, again, pocket space in the middle. Takes advantage of it to McMahon. Good ball, touch forward for Mendoza. 79th minute, crossed over Valesky. May have come in just a little soon there. And the Castile outside to Obasi. Valesky flicks it forward for Rudy. Mendoza. Just all sorts of time, space. The Rhinos taking their time. Charleston, very, very slow to get to the ball. Valesky gets there first, but unlucky for him. And they'll come back on a free kick for Charleston.
Yeah, Rochester seemed to be just seeing out the game, which is, I believe, the correct move. If you're not going to score, if you don't have that clear-cut chance, you know, take a step back, slow it down, and be intelligent.
Complete control. Griffith, Portillo. The Rhinos have just disrupted any rhythm, any flow of the battery. Portillo, that player just withdrawn a little bit, trying to create. He has been held in check. Dane Kelly, so far, so good.
I think we said it before. It's just, I mean, you can tell in their body language, not only Portillo, but everyone's just not been given absolutely anything today.
And I know they did play Friday in Toronto, but still, I think a sluggish performance so far, but you never know. A lot of time left. Mendoza's offsides. This one will come back as we'll have some substitutions. And Dane Kelly, well, your goal scorer with 9 goals, 2 assists comes off. And Austin Savage comes on in the 81st minute. What does that tell you?
I mean, I think it's just
Your big gun.
I think you'd rather someone who can run, someone who's fresh, than not 100% Kelly at this point.
Ugarte has also come on, and he does replace Tyler Rudy in the 82nd minute. So Rudy got 12 minutes of play. And Ugarte comes on after the ankle could be re-aggravated. We'll see if that's indeed what it is.
Really tough to see. I hope nothing too bad's going on there. Came in, what, 70th minute?
Yep.
Very, very, very short spell on the field. It's got to be serious if he's asking to come out.
Restart to Ajeti. Castile heads it out of play, so recapping your substitutions. Ugarte on for Rudy in the 82nd minute. Savage on for Kelly for Charleston in the 81st minute. And it's going to be Mendoza, who has put in a solid day of work, coming off in the 82nd minute. And coming on for him is Timmy Mulgrew. Good second half for Mendoza.
Absolutely.
Charleston done with the substitutions. Rhinos have one more if they'd like.
And these changes by no means are good news to the battery. Like we've said earlier, Rochester has so much versatility.
I'm just going to say that. Mendoza comes off. Mulgrew comes on. He has shown well.
Yeah, I mean, essentially all it means is somebody with more energy than the guy that came off is going to be running at you.
Ferguson, a little two-hand shove on Voleski. It's been a loose game for Mr. Murphy in the middle. A lot of pushing and shoving. And the flow of the game has not been very smooth. So if the Rhinos can come up with something here for him. Mulgrew. Fresh legs coming forward. Here's Chang. Looking for Cordovas. Van de Castile again, as he's been countless times today there to knock it out of play. Back to Chang. Into the box, cleared away by Walls. Ajetti gets it to Turrier. Now it's Griffith battling with Ugarte. And Apostolopoulos takes no chances. Sent forward Voleski 1v2. He and Ferguson continue to battle, and Ferguson comes in with an elbow. There's got to be a card there. It's his second time. We'll see if he gets to him after the stoppage. Sent forward. Now Mulgrew. Voleski's on sides. Sprints this one down on the near side. Ferguson marking him. Voleski. Forbes one-timer knocked off balance. And Ferguson picks up the loose ball. Outside to Griffith. Looking for Cordovas. Now Ugarte. Spinning, looking for options. Finds it in touch to Walls. 85th minute, Rhinos still slim 1-0 lead.
But battery just showing no signs of making a late push. I mean, you see one pass breaks their line, and there's no urgency to get back, no urgency to anything really.
You don't want to say it, but you just don't get the feel that they're going to be a threat.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
They have been off today.
Curse on the commentator.
I never know. It could
but
change. You never know. But from this point on, it's been pretty weak. Forbes shot it, skies it up and over the bar. Another good development from the flank. And it's the finishing touches that go up and over the goal.
And that's something that, I mean, should be a bit of a red flag. You know, we are winning right now against a very good Charleston Battery team that's high up in the table, but it's goals like that later in the season, come playoff time, you can't be missing. So I think Rochester should really take note of those opportunities they're giving up.
I think you made an excellent point. Come playoff time, those are the chances that see you advance or send you home packing.
I mean, it's all well and good now. Everyone's, you know, kind of coasting. Charleston's showed no signs of life, but, you know, I think essentially you're trying to get ready for that last game.
There's Obasi. Voleski. Quick shot. Oh, it's just wide. No, they're coming. Just not going in.
Got to hit the frame from there, though. It's a good play. It's a good buildup. You at least need the keeper to make a save.
There's a look at the last chance for Voleski. Started by Obasi. Did he just give a no-look pass?
Obasi, yeah.
Is that what I saw?
I think he faked us all out, didn't he?
I think it was a no-look pass. Oh, I love it. Absolutely great. There's Forbes. Mulgrew. Trying to turn the corner. Ajetti wins the battle. Savage. Walls knocks him off the ball.
Absolutely jumped again by Rochester players.
Voleski. Shot. That's going to sail wide of Cooper's net. All USL regular season and playoff games available live, free and in demand on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. Voleski quickly turning, looking for space. Short goal kick. Up to Griffith. Castile rock solid in the back today, along with Obasi Apostolopoulos, and of course
Fans, don't
McMahon.
forget your Rhinos are home again on Sunday, August 9th at 5:05, taking on the Richmond Kickers. It's Sunday,
Griffith.
August 9th, 5:05. Call 454
Ferguson.
KICK to get your tickets.
Chang. Portillo, oh, nice little touch to Chang. Space here for Savage. Couldn't get it to Marini. Bassi got a foot on it, and Ugarte will clear it. Ferguson and Valesky continue to battle, and Valesky takes a knock to the head. And again, Ferguson, very surprised. He has not picked up a yellow card. That's his third infraction against Christian Valesky.
Within the last, what, 5 minutes? Not even.
Free kick for the Rhinos. In the 88th minute.
Looks like the Rochester enforcer's coming in up top. So
Gonna need it. This one's getting chippy.
he's going to calm Ferguson down real quick.
The former hockey player. You want to be careful too with Valesky on that yellow card bubble.
I think he's done really
Retaliates.
well. Yeah, he's done really well not to react right now, and I think Ferguson will have his hands full if he's marking Rolf from here on out.
He is a bull.
Rolf not one to shy away from a tackle, that's for sure.
He was destructive last week in that home game against Charlotte.
But as aggressive as he is, he's a very technical player. I think Rolf really gives you a complete package.
And it's not going to be
And once again, a
Valesky
player of
who
that
comes
caliber
off.
coming in at the 89th minute. Like,
not too bad, is it?
Substitution for your Rochester Rhinos. Entering the game
It's going to be
is
Tosh who comes off.
Colin Roll. Replacing number 4, Sean Tosh.
Let's see, hang on now. They have 4 on the board, but it's actually Forbes, 21, who's going to come off in the 90th minute
playing a bit of mind games with the battery.
with the 4th official.
Fans, there's still time to submit
He
your
had 4 on the board, but it is Forbes, number 21, who comes off.
#4 Rhinos camp with a
And Rolf, his 16th appearance of the season. 2 goals, 1 assist for the hard-nosed forward. There's Marini. Turrier outside for Griffith. Apostolopoulos breaks it up. And we talk about these two teams possibly meeting in the postseason. For the fans that are here today and fans watching on YouTube, by no means is this what you expect to see from Charleston.
I sure hope not. I mean, I don't know. It's a bit tough to say, just because with so much on the line, you'd think a team would show up, regardless of how tired you are, regardless of what's gone on. You know, if you're going to be a championship caliber team, you've got to show up, even if you are a bit fatigued. So it's really tough to say. I think it says a lot about the character of a team. I think Rochester showed on the positive side of that. So
Charleston's given a bit of a gift here, 5 minutes of stoppage time.
it's not the point in the season where you want to be going down that road.
Charleston not out of this one yet. They've been sluggish today, but still time. Jetty has a throw in here on the near side. It's a toss into the box. Apostolopoulos pops it up in the air, and we talked about restarts and free kicks being possible game changers. Well, in stoppage time, Charleston's got their second quarter kick. And they've had trouble in the run of play, but maybe on the restart, they can cause some trouble. Chang over to take it. There's the low delivery. Off of Rolf. High clearance. McMahon comes out to the near side. Portillo. Outside to Chang. Charleston saw that it was 5 minutes. Little bounce in their step here now. Chang. Little chip into the box. Miller comes there and gets it away from Ferguson, and Van de Castile will have a word for him as well. Foul called.
Ferguson not quite having the same success bullying Brandon Miller and Grant Van de Castile.
There's a look at that last challenge. And Grant will take a few steps over and say, hey, think about that, my friend. Good win, though, by Turrier. And Castile down the middle for Valesky. Mueller wins it. Turrier.
And I think Rochester's lost a bit of that possession with Steven Santos coming off. He did a real great job holding the ball up. You're not seeing quite that same play anymore.
Cordovez. Pastalopoulos will clear it. The Rhinos under some pressure here in stoppage time.
And they're showing, yeah. And while clearances, I think they're starting to feel that pressure.
90 minutes, Charleston very sluggish. Now, they're still just down by 1 and showing some pep here, and a good ball. Pastalopoulos gets the flick out it to the far side. Marini continues. Griffith, the battery, asking some questions now. Savage tries the one-timer out of the air and sent forward to Obasi. It's going to be a wild finish. Stay tuned. Rolfe. And the referee's flag on the assistant's flag comes up on the far side. Charles Murphy will make his way over and have a word with Charles Murphy. And for some reason, it was Ferguson who was really slow to come up behind the play. And I wonder if Sean Ferguson's the player who's going to be having a discussion with the official. He's pointing in Ferguson's direction. And yes, it is Ferguson who has a word now with the official. We've had to Castile as well.
It's not good. Hopefully it ends up just a nice stirring conversation.
It was definitely behind the play. Here's a look at it. We'll see if we got any of the confrontation with those two. Off the ball. There's the clearance. Ferguson goes down in the box. The camera just pans away, but it looked like there was some discussion, we'll call it.
Yeah, it looked like just a 50-50.
I didn't see a card issued, but Stern talking to from the official. Savage will put it back into the box, and Miller will get it back into play as we are approaching the end of the 5 minutes of stoppage time. The Rhinos 11-0-7, Charleston 9-3-7. Griffith. Mueller. Turriere to Chang. McMahon will knock it off of his foot. One more push here for the battery, who have come alive in stoppage time. Portillo. Walls gets there first. Rolfe, or Volesky. Mueller wins it, plays it back to Cooper. Thought Volesky would go to the corner.
And that's the intelligence we're talking about. I mean, that's where you really need to say, hey, what's going on in the game right now? Is it worth a goal? Is it worth the risk? I mean, we could have probably seen the game out with that play alone.
It would have been the icing on the cake. Mulgrew. He'll slow it down now and eat away at the clock. Obasi. Still Obasi. Griffith steps in front of him, wins the ball. Toe poke forward. Looking for Cordovez. Tosh. Pokes it back into the Charleston half of the field. We're above the 5 minutes called for. There was some discussions with players. Turriere. Portillo. The Rhinos and the fans waiting for the final whistle, but Charleston is crossing midfield. Dante Marini spins. Still with it, Marini. Savage. Dante Marini. Ferguson. And cleared away by Apostolopoulos, who takes a shot to the head from Ferguson. And this yellow card is long, long overdue. And it comes in stoppage time. Ferguson,
About time.
he was given a long, long leash. And that's not the final whistle just yet.
Caution issued in stoppage time.
Stoppage time, yellow card. Here's a look at it. Comes in, hands high to the face of Apostolopoulos. And, oh, yeah, that's just forearm to the face. And that does bring this one to a close. The Rhinos won, Charleston nothing.